And due to circumstances beyond our control, we're back for another week. Wake up Wenatchee Valley. Happy Monday. It's a Monday, if you will. 24th day of June, 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz. Hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. I know most of my coworkers did. And now we're back at it again. We're going to work today. We're not going to work real hard. You know how it is here around on Mondays. We just kind of get through it. Very pleasant early summer day, but we've got a whole roller coaster of weather coming up this week. Keeping a very close eye on things basically tomorrow night all the way through Thursday. Things could get rather dramatic. Thunderstorms. That's the last thing that cherry growers need now that they're deep into the harvest is rain, heavy rain. Hopefully that won't happen, but the forecast is looking a little, if that's a word. It is now. Apparently I just made one up. Got lots going on today. My guest in the second half of the program is Dr. Edwin Carmack of Confluence Health. It's, if you haven't had a checkup lately, it's not a bad idea to get one. We'll talk about getting a wellness update with our friends at Confluence Health. They drop by about once a month to say hi. It's all part of being a sponsor of this program. I still don't know why they agreed to do that, although I must say I'm not complaining. Dr. Carmack will be my guest in the second half of the program. We taped this conversation late last week. As I mentioned before, very important weather forecast. We got the latest news on this Monday. Sports. Apple Sox had a good weekend, non-league games, but hey, victories are victories, and it's too bad that the Mariners can't play the Orioles every day. Mariners had a nice victory yesterday. We'll talk about that when we get to sports, plus the obscure holiday. Everybody into the pool. There's a hint. We have today in history. We have birthdays, and everybody is entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion. Lots of sunshine, a little on the cool side, 54 degrees. Outside of our studios, let's take you around North Central Washington with our PTZ cameras. We are panning and tilting and zooming all over the place. That's our 4K camera at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, the one we use probably more than any other camera. We can really get a lot of information from this camera. Because it's a 4K, we can zoom in really tight and get quite a bit of information into the frame, and nice and clean and crisp. That's a beautiful view there. Look at the mighty Columbia. Again, we continue to dry out, although we could use a little bit of rain. Not now. Again, the cherries. We don't want rain, not right now. We want to get through this, next 10 days or so through the peak of the cherry harvest before the rains come, but we might not get a choice on that. Mother Nature gets to call the shots. We just have to deal with it. Beautiful view of Birch Mountain, of Badger Mountain, of all the mountains as we head on up to the Columbia towards the Lake Chelan area. Good view there on a cool but sunny Monday morning. Where are we off to, Megan? She gets to decide. I don't. That looks to me to be the Stamen Flats camera. I'm sure that's correct. Yeah, that's Stamen Flats. You can't miss that. US 97 is down there. The Douglas County side of the river takes precedence there. This is pretty much where you have to make up your mind if you're going to Chelan, which way you're going. You're going to go up the Navarre Coulee and dump yourself off at the state park, or are you going to go ahead and take US 97A all the way through the Knapp's Hill Tunnel and drop yourself right off in Chelan proper. Beautiful view up there. Columbia River looking good. Looks like a lake more than a river, but trust me, it flows like a river. Camera number 3. Let's say good morning to, is that Jump Off Ridge? That's got to be Jump Off Ridge. Yeah, I like that view. Stemmill Basin. Again, keep your fingers crossed, because now the Stemmill Basin, of course, they grow a lot of cherries up there. No doubt about it. But they also have a slightly later cherry harvest, that area, the Stemmill Basin of the Wenatchee Heights, because it's usually cooler up there, a good 5, 6 to 10 degrees cooler up there. So the cherries are a little bit later on in the year, but still, we don't want any thunderstorms. Good morning, Stemmill Basin. Good morning, Wenatchee Heights. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley, way off in the distance from our camera at Jump Off Ridge. By the way, don't jump off Ridge. That would not be a good idea. And camera 4. We are off to Billy Goat and that little splotch, if you will, on the lens. I got to get a hold of Scott. Say, how hard would it be for you guys? Well, it's not easy to get to. As you might imagine, that is not a very easy tower location to access any time of the year. This time of the year is probably about the easiest, but that little blotch there is just going to drive me nuts until we get rid of it. And I'm usually not that anal about that kind of stuff, but that's like stuck there. That doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Mount Kalispell is in the upper center of your screen, which of course is in Canada. The mighty Columbia meets with the not quite so mighty Methow River, and right up a terrace. You can see Brewster off there as well. Can't see Bridgeport. It's tucked behind the mountain there. An incredible view from the Billy Goat camera, our highest camera by elevation. So you look at that, you say, okay, I have a cabin or I have a house out there and I can see this tower from my backyard or front yard. That means you can get high-speed internet to your house without having to have fiber. Give Local-Tel a call and they'll take care of you. So that's our tour around North Central Washington with our PTZ cameras. At 6 minutes after the hour, sunshine at 54 degrees from the National Weather Service. Here's your forecast. Mixed bag, everything's going to be happening. Now, pretty quiet today, sunny, high of about 79, light wind about 8 to 13 miles an hour. It was rather windy yesterday. Sunday's high was only 75. Our normal high would be about 80, so we'll be just a little bit below normal, but no real complaints at all. Nice day today, clear tonight, 56 for the overnight low. Again, a little breezy, northwest wind about 7 to 14 miles an hour. Tuesday, we start seeing some changes, especially late Tuesday, as a storm system will begin to visit our area, and that's when things get a little, well, easy, if that's the word. Wednesday, we're looking at scattered showers. It's going to be cloudy. We could see some afternoon thunderstorms. Some of those thunderstorms on Wednesday could produce some significant rain. No real wind. That's not good. If you're going to have rain, you might as well have wind, but we're not having that. About a 50-50 chance of rain. Now, when you get into some thunderstorms, of course, that could really make the rains quite heavy at times. And the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms goes all the way through Wednesday night. Again, if you get caught in a thunderstorm, it could come down in buckets, 58 for the overnight low. We're not out of the woods on Thursday. Could see some showers or thunderstorms on Thursday afternoon, but more sunshine. We're going to have nothing but clouds and some rain, it looks like, on Wednesday. Thursday, mostly sunny skies, but still a lingering chance of rain on Thursday. Then we calm down Friday. Just a slight chance of a thunderstorm, partly sunny, 75. The upcoming weekend, sunshine Saturday and 80, mostly sunny and a high of about 84. Could even see a little bit of hail during these thunderstorms, basically Tuesday night all the way through early Thursday morning, with most of the activity happening on Wednesday. Almost all of those temperatures are actually a little bit below normal, so it's going to be cooler than normal. Today, right at normal on Tuesday. Really worried about some significant rain and thunderstorms on Wednesday. There's a pretty good storm system that's going to pack quite a bit of punch. It's going to give everybody some rain. Thursday, we calm down a little bit. Not bad for the upcoming weekend. So there you go. That's your forecast from the National Weather Service. And again, if we have a stray thunderstorm or two, and the odds of a thunderstorm is increases the higher the elevation you are. So the foothills of the Cascades up in the Omak, Okanagan area in the Methow Valley, those thunderstorms could get rather nasty at times. So lightning hitting the ground, not good. It's never good. This time of the year, it's really, really not good. Fair skies and 54 degrees. We are going to take a break, but before we do, we want to thank our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. Grab a cup of coffee, come back and see me in 1 minute. We'll have your Monday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 42 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
We're back about 10 minutes after the hour on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Clear skies, 54 degrees. Lots of sunshine, a little breezy today. Lots of sunshine, a little breezy on Tuesday, but beginning Tuesday night and lasting into Thursday. Lingering chances of rain and the occasional pop-up thunderstorm. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday. It's likely going to take a lot more time to secure daily commercial air services from the Wenatchee Valley to the San Francisco Bay Area. That was the news shared at Friday morning's Partners in Economic Development program hosted by the Chelan County Port District. Port manager Jim Kuntz says the port has been in talks with several airlines over the last couple of months, but there have been no commitments yet. Meanwhile, Kuntz reported that the money raised to help lure an air carrier to the Wenatchee Valley remains secure, and existing air service to Seattle continues to improve.
So we have $1.1 million in the bank that now we are going to hunt down additional air service for this community. Boardings are doing well, 62,000 boardings a year, 7% increase over last year.
Now, Friday's program at the Wenatchee Convention Center featured airline industry expert Jack Penning. He's been working as a consultant with the port on airline recruitment efforts. His firm is entitled Volair Aviation Consulting, and they have been working with several regional airports across the country that have established similar campaigns. He cited an example of the Tri-Cities Airport's efforts to provide direct service to Los Angeles.
From the time we were awarded that grant until the time service started, it was a little more than 3 years. That's how long it took for us to finally convince a carrier, in this case United Airlines, that the business case was solid enough for them to take the risk, even with the grant available, to begin that service. We've had our grant for less than a year. So we're still in the infancy of getting this service started. It can take some time. And so patience is the biggest virtue when working on air service development. Virtually every route that you see on this map has a similar public-private partnership model to getting started.
But Penning also noted that the airline industry in general is experiencing some challenges going forward. He says pilot shortages are becoming an issue that could lead to future cutbacks in services. Well, in an effort to improve and support school safety and security, the Wenatchee School District, in collaboration with various law enforcement agencies, will be holding training exercises this week. Our very own Kyle Montgomery tells us more.
If it looks like Wenatchee High School is under siege next week, there's no need for concern. On Tuesday and Thursday, the Wenatchee Police Department will be holding active shooter training at the school. They'll be practicing scenarios that will include physically taking a resisting suspect into custody, as well as searching for and apprehending active shooters. The training will be from 2 p.m. to midnight on Tuesday and from noon to 4 p.m. on Wednesday in the southeast corner of the school. The public is asked to avoid the area during the training. With NCW Life News, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you, Kyle. We appreciate it. The Wenatchee Police Department is once again offering their Citizens Academy program in an effort to create stronger partnerships between the department and the citizens. It's a free program. It runs from 6 to 9 o'clock every Wednesday. It starts August 28th through November 20th. It's open to the public and those interested in learning more about law enforcement. The academy will be taught by police officers, department support personnel, and other criminal justice professionals. Information on a wide range of topics such as patrol procedures, domestic violence, career development, and much more will be taught throughout the 12-week program. Application forms can be found at wenatcheewa.gov. They have to be filled out, by the way, by August 1st. Wenatchee Police Detective Eric Bakke is going to be talking about the Citizens Academy on this morning's Street Talk and Other Stuff with their very own Mike Mad Dog McNaughty live this morning at 10 a.m. Well, construction is underway on a new skate park in Wenatchee. The project, designed by local skaters and Gridline, should be completed and ready to skate by the end of next month. It is located near the pedestrian bridge and the Hale Dog Park. Funding for the $279,000 project coming from the State Recreation Conservation Office, Washington Wildlife and Recreation Program, and Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund grants. The final phase of park construction includes restrooms, play equipment, a picnic shelter, and additional landscaping and security cameras. That will happen next spring. And of course, Friday marked the first day of summer, which means noxious weeds in area yards and landscaping and sidewalks and driveways. My good friend Bonnie Orr, host of Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees, joined me on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on Friday with tips on how to control those pesky goat heads and knapweeds. We're going to start out with the diffuse knapweed, and you've seen these all over North
Okay.
Central Washington.
Okay, and they are just starting to bloom right now.
Yeah.
I've seen them in the cracks in sidewalks. I've seen them up against fences, in alleyways. And this one, it is starting to spread, and we would really like to have this one controlled. It is easy to control this time of year. There's a rosette at the bottom. Now this one has already started to bloom, and most of them are. You need to pull it up before those seeds are set.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a matter of just being watchful on the perimeter of your property. One of the places I often see it is where the mail truck drives along, or where the garbage truck goes along, because they just pick up the seeds as they make their rounds all over the city.
And that is how the seeds are spread.
Yeah, so and these things, you can literally pull them out of the ground counterclockwise.
They're actually easy to pull.
They're easy to pull.
They don't resist. And you and I are old school. When you have a weed, you pull it. You don't round up it and let it.
It's a waste of product.
Yeah, it is.
you know?
It's a waste of product.
You know, the interesting thing about the weed seeds are so persistent. I had a 3-inch piece of tumbleweed, Russian thistle, that blew into my yard during the winter. And this spring, early on, I picked it up, that little bristly thing. There were 42 little plants under there, out of that teeny piece.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's,
So, the seed productions is in the thousands for each plant.
and that's true of any noxious weed,
Yeah.
almost by rule of thumb. Once they get a toehold, they go.
Yeah,
which
because
is-
and they can be distributed,
Yeah.
by the wind too.
and of course, everybody knows goat heads.
Yeah,
And,
one of our least favorite everything.
I hate those things. I
Oh
just
yeah, there
hate
it
'em.
is. And it's already starting to spread, and it's probably just getting to that stage right now.
And just like the knapweed, they will grow almost anywhere that they can find a spot to go.
In disturbed land.
Yep.
And this one is really wonderful. You can roll it up, put on gloves. You roll it up, and then you just twist it out of the soil, and put it in a plastic bag and put it in the trash.
How do you know it's a goat head before the goat heads actually develop so you can pull it early on?
Okay, so because this one has already started its outward tendril growth, it would just be the little center part, and it's called a rosette.
And again, don't spray it with gunk, just pull it.
Yeah, because you know something?
Yeah.
If you spray it with gunk, the seeds are still there.
Yeah, that's the
But
problem.
even the half-ripe seeds will continue to ripen.
Always good to see my friend Bonnie. It is just about 18 minutes after the hour. Before we take a break, a reminder, the news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock every weekday. 5, 6, and 10. You can watch it right here on TV. You can watch it on our live stream. We are streaming live all the time. So if you see it on TV, you can see it on your computer in real time, or you can watch it on demand, again, by going to our website at ncwlife.com. We'll have the news up and running right around 4:30 in the afternoon, so you can watch the news whenever you feel like watching the news. You can even watch old news broadcasts if you want. We archive just about everything, and that includes commencement exercises, sporting events. All of our locally produced shows are all there for you to watch whenever you darn well feel it at ncwlife.com. You can also get a hold of us via our website. Just click on the Contact Us icon and fill out the form, and we'll get it. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can pick up the telephone. Oh, there's a sneak peek. Now you know how the Apple Sox did on Sunday. Get a hold of us via our website, via our Facebook page. Send us an email, pick up the telephone, and give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. How did the Apple Sox do yesterday? Well, as you well know, they did pretty good. So did the Mariners. So did the Skyhawks. Pretty good weekend for the local sports teams. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I found a doctor that I just really, really like, and his name is Nick Collins. I just like everything about him. He's very thorough, but he's not intrusive at all, so he goes ahead and checks out things that somebody else might just let it go. Just about everything about him.
It's the 40th 40th Annual Lake Chelan Fireworks Show over Manson Bay, presented by Town Toyota Center. Bring your whole family to Manson for a day at the beach. Watch the U.S. Navy salute with EA-18 flyby at 1. Then Special Forces aerial display with U.S. flag and smoke trails from Skydive Chelan. Dance to the Lake Boys at 7. And then the biggest fireworks show in all of Eastern Washington at 10:15. It's the 40th Annual Lake Chelan 4th of July Fireworks Show over Manson Bay, presented by Town Toyota Center and Washington'sPlayground.com.
We're back at 20 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports. Make it 6 in a row for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. A nice 14-6 win over the Highline Bears. Last night, Ryan Alterberger was a triple shy of the cycle for the Apple Sox. Wenatchee scored in double figures for the third straight game. Altenberger and Cole McKenzie each had home runs for the Sox in their 17-hit attack. Joel Norman had the call to the Wenatchee Apple Sox Radio Network. The video courtesy of the Apple Sox Facebook stream.
Just partly to mostly cloudy. Payoff pitch, swung on, hit up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Brett Gillis drives in Quinn Ayers, and he is a home run away from a cycle, but granted, it would take the Apple Sox batting around a little bit just to get back to Gillis. The 2-2, once again, hit in the air to left center. That ball will drop. Rounding third and coming in to score is Colden. It's an RBI single for Tyler Detloff. Summer got the first 2 outs pretty quickly, a strikeout and a ground out. This might end it here. Tapper over to second. Altenberger flips the second base. Colden stops on the bag, and the Apple Sox win.
Nicely done, Apple Sox. Jake Somm pitched an inning in relief. He gets the victory. He walked 1, struck out 2. Wenatchee improves their non-league record to 3-0. Now they have the day off, and then they travel up to Victoria. They'll take on the Harbor Cats, the first of 3 games. That's tomorrow. And then following the series in Victoria, the Apple Sox stay west of the Cascades for 3 games at Cowlitz. That was a non-league game. The rest of the West Coast League played league games yesterday. And let's take a look at the scoreboard. Troy Viola hit a 3-run home run. Jack Matchtoff was 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs to lead Bellingham past Bend, 12-4. Chase Wessener's 2-run double highlighted the 3-run 9th inning as Victoria came from behind to beat Portland, 7-5. Jason Willow also went 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs for the Harbor Cats. They're getting ready, of course, to host Wenatchee. Bradley Knight was 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Jake Holcroft, 4 for 5 with a couple of runs. Corvallis beat Yakima Valley 10-7. Matthew Grentler was also 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs as the Knights improved to 8-6. The Pippins fall to 8-9. Matthew Christian was 3 for 5 with a 2-run home run to lead Port Angeles to a 10-5 win over Walla Walla. And Luke Price and Braden DeBenedictis each had 3 hits as Cowlitz topped Kelowna 8-6. The Black Bears scored 2 insurance runs in the 8th to improve to 5-13 on the season. Let's go to the latest standings on the West Coast League's North Division, courtesy of our friends at Les Schwab. Of course, the Apple Sox played 2 non-league games over the weekend. Bellingham remains in first place. They're 12-6. Victoria, a game back at 11-7. Yakima Valley sits in third. They're 8-9. The Apple Sox technically tied for third, 3.5 games back, 7-8. Port Angeles, 7-11. They're in fifth place. Kelowna remains at the bottom of the North Division standings at 5-10. The Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks jumped out to a 38-12 halftime lead, and they cruised from there 52-20. The final over Tri-Cities, that was in Kennewick on Saturday. Wenatchee Valley improves to 5-6 with the win. They got 1 game remaining. Yep, it's the fire again. Tri-Cities dropped to 0-10. The 2 teams will wrap up the regular season Friday night at 7 at the Town Toyota Center. Another busy night of racing at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval Saturday. It was breezy. It was cool. But the race drivers lacked that. Tacoma's Mike Charles took the checkered flag in the Johnson Electric Bump to Pass A-Main. In the first main event for the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models, it was Wenatchee's Jan Evans finishing first. Quincy's Glenn Knudsen took the second main for the Pro Late Models. And the Plum Perfect Roadrunners main event winner was East Wenatchee's R.T. Greiner. East Wenatchee's Seth Fraser took the checkered flag in the Street Stocks main event. Next up for the WVSO, July 6th with the Pro Late Models, the Thunder Cars, the Roadrunners, and the Pro 4 trucks all scheduled to race. J.P. Crawford went 4 for 4, hit a home run, had 4 ribbies. Seattle stopped Baltimore 13-3 yesterday afternoon. Mac Williamson also hit a 2-run home run for the Mariners. They took 3 of 4 from the Orioles in their 4-game weekend series. UC Kikuchi lasted 6 innings. He earns his first victory since May 19th. He allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Seattle travels today. They begin interleague play. They'll be in Milwaukee tomorrow at 5:10. Also in the American League West yesterday, courtesy of our friends at Les Schwab, Houston snapped a 7-game losing streak with a grand slam home run by Tyler White. He was one of 4 Astro home runs. They beat the Yankees 9-4. Delino DeShields went 3 for 3 with a couple of RBIs to lead Texas past the White Sox 7-4. Adrian Sampson was also stellar on the mound for the Rangers. He allowed 1 run, 7 hits, 7 innings, 4 strikeouts. He is 6-4 on the year. Travis d'Arnaud was 2 for 5 with a 2-run home run and 3 RBIs to lead Tampa Bay past Oakland 8-2. The Rays scored 5 runs in the 4th inning to open up a lead it would not relinquish, and after a wild 9th inning, the Angels scored 4 runs in the top of the inning. Then they allowed 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. LA held on to beat St. Louis 6-4. David Fletcher led the way. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and a couple of RBIs. And there you see the standings in the American League West. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. 26 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday on this 24th day of June. Today is Swim a Lap Day. Here you go. Go out and swim a lap. Swim 2. Of course, human beings have been swimming since antiquity. First of all, for survival, and then later on for recreation and exercises. England takes credit for turning swimming into a competitive sport sometime in the 18th century, but many historians believe that the Japanese were actually responsible for making swimming a competitive sport. Of course, it's one of the most popular Olympic sports that there are out there. Swimming is really good for you because when you swim, you use almost all of the muscles in your body, so it's a great all-around workout. It burns calories like crazy. It increases your heart activity. It builds muscle strength, reduces stress, helps you relax. Of course, it's very important for young children to learn how to swim as soon as they can learn how to swim. So it's very simple to celebrate Swim a Lap Day. Get your swim gear and take a dip in the pool and swim yourself some laps. Or go to a lake. I wouldn't swim in the Columbia River right now unless you go into the lagoon. That's not a bad idea. Organize a pool party. If you've never learned how to swim, they have adult swimming lessons all over the place. And remember, swimming is just about the only sport that's out there that can actually save a life, either yours or somebody else's. Swim a Lap Day. Better yet, swim 2. It's good for you. 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history. June 24th, 1948, 71 years ago today. Here's the deal. The Berlin blockade began. Yeah, the Soviet sector in West Berlin, in order to get to West Berlin, you had to go through Germany, and that was the German sector, and that was the Soviet sector at the time. So they thought, you know what, we can just starve the West Berliners right into submission if we just block all the roads, all the railroads, all the canals, every mode of transportation into West Berlin. We'll just block them off, and they'll just starve to death, and then they'll eventually, capitulate and come over to us. So it was a big blockade, and the only way to supply the people in West Berlin with food and fuel and the necessities of life was by air. So that's what they did. They just flew everything in, one after the other after the other. The Berlin blockade began on this date, lasted for quite some time before the Soviets finally threw up their hands and say, okay, you win this one. Started 71 years ago today. And June 24th, 2010, 9 years ago, you remember this? John Isner of the United States, Nicolas Mahut of France, played themselves a little tennis. They played themselves a lot of tennis. It's the longest match in the history of tennis. It took 11 hours and 5 minutes to play over 3 days. The final score, 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 7-6, 70-68. 183 games. Not only is it by far the longest match in tennis history, just that last set alone was longer than any other previous match in history. By the way, this cannot happen anymore because they changed the rules beginning this year. There'll be a tiebreak in the 5th set, which means that this will remain the longest match in the history of tennis, unless, of course, they change the rules again. Oh, I remember that. It just kept going and going and going. Finally, we got some birthdays at the bottom of the hour. One historic birthday, the Manasseh Mahler, the great Jack Dempsey heavyweight fighter, born in the state in 1895, lived a long and fruitful life. He was considered the gentleman's gentleman, died in 1985 at the age of 87. heavyweight champion of the world from 1919 to 1926. And even though he's been long gone, outside of Babe Ruth, or alongside Babe Ruth, he was probably the most popular and famous athlete of the entire decade of the 1920s. A lot of people still considered him the greatest fighter of all time. The legendary Jack Dempsey was born in this state in 1895. And a couple of rockers and rollers celebrate birthdays today. Mick Fleetwood, one half of the name Fleetwood Mac. Of course, he plays the drum. John McVie played the bass, and they put their names together to come up with Fleetwood Mac. He's 72 years old today. Seems to be going rather well. Fleetwood Mac still tours. They don't need the money. They tour because they like it. Mick Fleetwood inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 1998. And the man considered the guitarist, Jeff Beck. This guy can play guitar. Clean, fluid lines, never hits a bad note. Also writes some pretty good songs. Jeff Beck's work has been phenomenal over the years. Jeff Beck is 75 years old today. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. In 1992 as a member of the Yardbirds, and again in 2009 as a solo artist, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Jeff Beck is 75 years old today. Somebody should probably tell him. It's 31 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. We got a Mike Magnotti opinion coming your way here in just a couple of minutes, and then Dr. Edwin Carmack came by last Friday to record my conversation from our friends at Confluence Health. Very important information on your checkups. You should have one. You should get them. They got a pretty good deal at Confluence Health. Dr. Edwin Carmack, by a pretty good deal, I mean free. Dr. Edwin Carmack, my guest when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Monday edition on the NCW Life channel.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome to Boswell's Home Furnishings. Come in and explore their expansive 2-story showroom at your leisure. You'll find comfort and inspiration for every room in your home. Boswell's has been filling customer furniture needs for decades, from contemporary to the classics, for living room, dining room, and bedroom sets. Purchase in-store or create your own unique style. With Boswell's complimentary design service, your vision is their passion. Where would you like to start?
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing Honey Blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Make plans for family fun time during Founders Day in Kashmir. Friday night starts off with a free barbecue, face painting, and kids karaoke right in downtown Kashmir. From a Saturday street fair to the ping pong ball drop to the 7 p.m. Crunch Pack Parade, Kashmir's Founders Day has fun for the whole family. Please thank the supporters of this message.
Liberty Orchards bring the family to tour the Applets and Colletts factory. And Blackburn Financial, your future planned with care.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, like I've said before, 75% of folks here in the good old USA call ourselves Christian. Well, that's fine, I guess. But what's really tragic is there are people who don't realize that the true test of loving and sacrificing for others, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, etc., is first and foremost to be displayed at home to your families. It doesn't matter who outside of your family thinks you're a great person. If your spouse and your kids don't think so, or if your parents or your siblings think that you're a jerk, you're missing it. You know, if your Christianity and if your love for fellow man isn't first and foremost demonstrated to those who are closest to you, let's face it, it's meaningless. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCW Life, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
Welcome to another edition of Herod's Cookhouse Field to Table. Outdoorsmen have been providing fresh food for American family tables for generations. Hunting and fishing is a way of life for our family, and we enjoy cooking delicious fish and game meals.
Oh, that's awesome.
We want to share our recipes with you. This is Herod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Watch Herod's Cookhouse Field to Table Saturdays and Sundays at 5:30 and 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. on the NCW Life channel.
When you visit Harmony Meadows for tennis or their activity center, you need to drop by the Love All Cafe. Drink in a locally roasted Blue Star espresso or enjoy one of their all-natural smoothies. Show your guests the breathtaking mountains and surrounding orchards while enjoying a delightful and healthy lunch. Love All Cafe features varied noshes as well as microbrews and an excellent selection of wines. The Love All Cafe, located at Harmony Meadows in the Chelan Valley, just outside Manson.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Periodically, we sit down with the good friends at Confluence Health, who is a proud sponsor of this program. I'm assuming Confluence Health is a proud sponsor of this program because I've never seen it. My guest today is Dr. Edwin Carmack from Confluence Health. He's here to talk about all kinds of good things, especially, well, you tell me the topic because I know what it is and I just drew a blank, Doc. What is the topic today?
Annual wellness visits.
Annual wellness visits. But before we get to that, for our television viewing family out there, Doctor, a little bit about yourself.
I'm an internal medicine doctor at Confluence Health. I've been in Wenatchee about 12 years. I went to the University of Washington for a long, long time and then did residency in San Diego. and promptly left Southern California and moved to Colorado for a couple years, and then to Wenatchee, which is closer to where my family is here in Washington.
And you are a hospitalist, which is an interesting title, which means what exactly?
So I take care of people when they're admitted to the hospital. So people come into the emergency department, or sometimes they get transferred directly to us. And if they need to be taken care of in the hospital, I do that work. And there's a group of, including our physician assistants, there's 40 of us, something like that now. And so we're there all the time. We have somebody in the hospital all the time. And sort of act like the primary care doctor in the hospital, because the primary care doctors stay in their offices for the most part now. So we're the internal medicine physicians in the hospital.
So you have it's a pretty big umbrella then.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we see, we take care of any of the medical problems that are happening in the hospital. Everything from diabetes, heart failure, COPD, so emphysema. And then, if people come in with strokes or bleeding in their brain, we're part of taking care of them as well.
As opposed to, say, a pre-scheduled elective surgery, which would be something else entirely.
Right. So sometimes those patients, if they have complications that occur in the hospital or their medical issues are a concern, will be involved with those. But a lot of those patients are taken care of just by their surgeon. Yeah.
And it's a challenging job. Take it from me, because I think most people are familiar with my story. I had an appendix that was inflamed. It burst, but it walled itself off. But nobody really knew what was going on. And from a patient's standpoint, all you know is that your doctor called you up and say, I think you need to have surgery like now. Can you get to the hospital? And from a patient standpoint, you're going, what? So you have to, you're dealing with somebody who's a little upset about what's going on here.
Yeah. So, I mean, nobody wants, there's very few people who want to be in the hospital.
Exactly.
So we're dealing with people at really sometimes fragile times in their lives. And so trying to help them, a lot of my job is explaining and helping them understand what we're doing or what other specialists or surgeons are doing. And sort of helping guide them through their hospital stay, and doing our best to get them back out of the hospital, back home. And then our other goal, obviously, is people don't want to come back to the hospital, so we try as hard as we can that when we do discharge people, that they've got everything set to be well at home.
Why medicine? What brought you? What part of your growing up did you say, I think I want to be a doctor?
That was a long process. Yeah. So I tell the story that I watched Top Gun too often when I was a teenager. And so I initially wanted to design jet engines for the Navy. That was when I went into college. That's what I was going to do. So I started out in mechanical engineering. And I started thinking about medicine really early on in college, but nobody in my family was in medicine, so I didn't have a lot of experience with what it is. I was always interested in the science part. Switched to chemical engineering because it gets you closer to sort of those requirements for medical school, and just stayed very interested in sort of the biomedical sciences. And as I got further through and out of college a little bit, decided that I did want to go into medicine, and a lot of it was what most doctors I think are interested in, which is the technical, the sort of science side of medicine, but just also that opportunity to help people and impact, and just that personal connection, which as an engineer, there's less sort of one-on-one connection with people, and so medicine really fits both those things.
And the human body is the most amazing design ever. It really is. It's incredible.
And there's so much to know. Like, I never get bored because I learn something new every day. I mean, specialists know all kinds of the subspecialties of medicine. I'm more of a generalist, so I get to try and figure out everything every day. And so I learn something every day. And we will never know how the body works, we, the collective. it's
Which is
just
cool.
so complicated. No,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it fascinating. The brain is sort of, I think, the frontier that we have just barely scratched the surface of, but it's fascinating. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody should have a primary care physician, regardless of your health or your history of health. Everybody should have a primary care physician, and everybody should, just like you need to bring your car in for an oil change and a tune-up, you got to bring yourself in for a checkup every now and again, even if you feel totally fine. And,
Yes.
and there's a good reason for that, Doc.
There is. So annual wellness visits are, I talked earlier about nobody wants to be in the hospital. So an annual wellness visit is one of the ways that we would like to help our Medicare patients stay out of the hospital. And we think of it as a planning visit for the year. So you come in, you actually will spend a lot of time with a nurse, going through your medical history, what medicines you're on, making sure you've had all the screening exams that are recommended, so making sure that after you've turned 50, because everybody wants a colonoscopy, so we want to make sure everybody's gotten one.
We're going to talk about that with Dr. Jorgensen, as a matter of fact, later on this
I've
week.
been talking with her about how we're, making sure that everybody that in our population has had those exams. So making sure that everybody has their screening done, and then looking for screening for other diseases. So things like hypertension and things like that to make sure we're not missing other things. So really a planning visit for the year. In the past, people have gotten annual physicals or are sort of used to annual physicals. This in many ways replaces that and can completely replace that. There's not a lot of physical exam with this visit, but it's a very structured visit. And what we found and what Medicare has found is that if we do this very structured visit, we have better results.
Okay.
I think some of the other important things with it are that the visit itself is covered completely by Medicare. So there's no cost to the patient for this visit. It's covered once a year. So we encourage people to come in each year and basically kind of plan out your care for the year. If there are things found that need more follow-up or need more sort of attention, the provider may need to schedule you to come back. So this is, we're trying to find a lot of things with this visit, but we may not be able to actually deal with the more delicate things right at that visit.
And as you mentioned, nurses handle the vast majority of this because it's a basic skill that everybody gets when they get in the medical profession. They know how to draw blood. They know how to take a blood pressure is all computerized now. That's kind of stuff. You don't need a doctor to do that.
There's a lot of this that you don't need a doctor to do, and that's the part that you spend with the nurse is probably going to be about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're especially training nurses for this so that they're very focused on this visit and getting the most out of it.
Do you have enough nurses to go around to make this happen?
We are we're hiring nurses to make this happen. So we've hired some, but you can always use more nurses, quite honestly. So yeah, if people are interested in, if nurses are interested in this, we'd be happy to hire them as well.
And prospective nurses, because we have a really good Wenatchee Valley College, who of course has that wonderful relationship with Central. You can get your 4-year nursing degree or any kind of nursing degree, and there are jobs for you.
I think we want to hire most, if not, actually, I think we want to hire all of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the name of it, wellness visit.
Yes.
It sounds like it's a marketing ploy, but it isn't.
It's not. It actually is not. Annual wellness visit is not our name. So we've this is Medicare's name for it. And it's been around for a few years, but it's something that we're trying to emphasize more and trying to find ways to get more of our patients to get them because they have shown such value. But I think I like the name. I mean, it really is focused on keeping people well. We want to catch things before they become major because it's much easier to to treat them before then.
And it's easier on your pocketbook and your overall health, because anything that is having been cut open, if you're cut open, it's a shock to the body.
It
And
is.
you know, if you caught this like a year earlier, we wouldn't have to be cutting you open. You know,
It's much easier to deal with things when they're early on.
Right.
Yeah. So we encourage people to schedule these.
How do they go about doing that?
So you can call your primary care provider's office or call our contact center. The other way, which is usually easier to get through, is MyChart.
Okay,
So
yeah.
just messaging your primary care provider's office on MyChart and asking for annual wellness visit.
How do you, for those of you who don't know, you're either new in town or you haven't had one for a while, or your family doctor retired or whatever. What's the best way to go about defining the PCP, the personal care physician, for you as an individual? How do you go about interviewing a doctor, I guess is the way to put it?
Yeah, so I think calling our contact center, because and sort of expressing what you're looking for in a doctor, because they are very good about being able to match up people with a provider who will be able to meet their needs. So I think that's sort of the first step. You know, there's some stuff online. I think that's a little hard to sort through frequently. And then I think meeting the provider is really key, and being very clear that what you are looking for with that provider, and just having that conversation.
Yeah.
Because it really is, it is a conversation, and we want physicians and providers are bringing our expertise to the visit, but really our job is to help you with what you want in your health.
Wellness checkups. I like it. Anything else while I have you here, Doc? I know you're a busy guy.
Oh, no,
Anything
that's
else
all
on your
right.
plate while I have you here?
I think
we got about covered.
Annual wellness visits.
Annual wellness visits, and you know, Top Gun's a great movie, but it's more fiction than fact. You probably figured that out pretty soon.
It was
You showed up at
But
work.
I was a teenager.
Yeah,
I
understand.
Fun.
Yeah, and it's still a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It's fun to watch.
It is a lot of fun to watch.
It's fun to watch. I'm no Tom Cruise, but it is fun to watch.
And designing jet engines for the Navy might have been fun, but this is
you
better.
seem happy with what
I'm
you do
very
here.
happy for it.
So,
This is much better.
and from a physician's and even a nurse's standpoint, Confluence Health is as good as it gets. So there's a reason why physicians and nurses and support staff want to live here and work at Confluence Health.
It's a great place.
It's a great place, top down. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. Take the rest of the day off.
Okay.
All right.
All
For
right.
more information, just go to confluencehealth.org, confluencehealth.org. The website is super easy to use, and get your wellness check. And again, as the good doctor said, just the basic wellness thing, spending that time with the nurse doesn't cost you a dime. So that's a good thing. Free is a good price. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guests for, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work, and I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally,
You would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you. We drop it off. Then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station. Welcome back to this Monday edition of this award-winning program, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I know we won an award because I printed one up on my computer at home over the weekend. Before we cut you loose on this Monday, let's take a look at that weather forecast. It's a little bit of everything. It's a weather smorgasbord, if you will. After a cool day yesterday, it was quite breezy. Didn't get very warm. Only about 75 was our high on Sunday. We're going to top off at about 79 degrees. Lots of sunshine, not as windy as it was yesterday. A northwest wind about 8 to 13 miles an hour. Pretty benign tonight. Clear skies, 56 for the overnight low. That's about normal for this time of year. Partly sunny or partly cloudy, however you want to call it, on a Tuesday. We're top off about 80 degrees, very little wind to speak of. And then Tuesday night is when things get a little interesting. And for cherry growers, perhaps a little on the dicey side, it's another storm system that's going to come in late Tuesday. And it's basically going to last almost until the end of this week, and it's going to bring us a good chance for showers in many locations, the occasional pop-up thunderstorm. And as you can see, by Thursday and Friday, it's going to cool us down a little bit. So starting Tuesday night, we're going to cloud up. Overnight low about 59, no real rain in the forecast on Tuesday. But Wednesday looks, well, right now it disappeared. Wednesday looks a little iffy. It's going to be cloudy all day Wednesday. We're going to see some scattered showers. And in the afternoon, the occasional pop-up thunderstorm. And those thunderstorms could produce some heavy rain, which is why we're keeping a very close eye on the rain, because we don't want rain this time of the year for the cherry harvest. They swell up and split, and that's that. That's not good. We're going to top off at about 78. Not a lot of wind. The chance of precipitation is about 50-50. But again, you get into those thunderstorm areas, and it could really come down in buckets on Wednesday. So Wednesday, we could even see some hail. It's possible. We could see some hail on Wednesday afternoon. And this system is really going to go right in through, well, basically Friday. Wednesday night, some scattered showers, some thunderstorms, all possible in the evening hours. Again, in those thunderstorms, they could see some heavy rain, 58 for the overnight low. And the odds of the thunderstorms increase with elevation. The higher up in elevation you are, the better chance you are that you may get some thunderstorms, especially along the Cascade foothills and up north in the Omak-Okanagan area and in the Methow Valley. That's the best chance of a thunderstorm. The Lake Chelan area could get a thunderstorm or two on Wednesday afternoon. Maybe not so much in the Wenatchee Valley, but still, we can't rule it out. Thursday, we start changing a little bit. It's going to be sunny, but we still can't rule out a thunderstorm or two or some rain on Thursday. And cool, high of 75. Our normal high at this time of the year is about 80 degrees. And then Friday, we should be done with this storm. Partly sunny, again cool for late June, high of only 75. And not a bad weekend if this forecast holds up. Mostly sunny Saturday and a high near 80. And then mostly sunny Sunday and a high of 84. Again, we're keeping a very close eye on Wednesday. We could get a little bit of everything. Could get some scattered showers, could get some rain, could get some afternoon thunderstorms. The only thing we're probably not going to get Wednesday is wind. The one thing we have been having over the last couple of days. What do we have for the rest of the week here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley? Malachi Salcido will be my guest tomorrow. His company, The Salcedo Connection is the title sponsor for the Let's Have a Blast 4th of July celebration coming up on Independence Day at Walla Walla Point Park. He'll be dropping by. Dr. Jennifer Jorgensen from Confluence Health will be dropping by as well. It's the Cover Your Butt campaign. We'll talk about that. And also Stacy Lukensmeyer and Ron Nielsen from the college. Busy week coming up. Have yourself a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.